Hey guys, it's Chaos World here, and I'm with Tristan. I'm sorry for back to the crappy webcam camera because, yeah, I have the new camera, but I think my memory card isn't big enough or something, and it only records 3 minutes at a time. And if I tried to work with it, the video would be really choppy, and I don't know. I think that would be kind of irritating if it's really choppy. So I will eventually get to using it, but for now, this is what I have. So bear with me, sorry. So the first thing I want to show you is I was cleaning my house and I found this. It's a little wrench, and it'd be perfect for Tristan since he's my little inventor. And this video is about him. So for pretty much ever since his box opening, I haven't very much talked about his world. I guess I want to like elaborate a little bit more so we could get to know him. So pretty much he is from an alternate universe, and he is from the city. Like in his world it is planet Earth, but it looks different because first of all it's in Pangea, so the continents aren't split. There's no oceans dividing anything. It's you could walk from North America all the way to China, and you don't have to worry. There's no ocean separating you, anything. It's all land. And in the very middle of all of that is a big city. So there is a little bit of dividance because there's the big city. Then outside of that, there isn't any other cities. It's just little villages. And there is what they call the country people. They're the ones who live out in the wild and they live in the villages and stuff. And then there's the city people. And pretty much from when you're a kid, they let you know that when you get older and you get to decide what you want to do and all that stuff, most likely you'll either live in the city, you'll have your home in the city, or you're going to have your home in the wild. And you usually don't have both. And you're allowed, if you live in the city, there's no rule saying you cannot go out to the wild, or if you're wild you cannot enter our city. No, you can go back and forth just fine. It's just you're not gonna have like a permanent home in both places. You're just gonna have one or the other. That's how it's mostly been done. That's how people generally do it. So that's why. So about Tristan, I guess it'd go back to his childhood, I guess. But his parents are couriers, so they carry around mail all over. And usually they either do it by foot or they have horses or something like that because outside of the city there are no cars. So the people in the country slash wild, they walk or use animals for transportation. So like his parents were not around a lot. He'd see them every once in a while. So pretty much it was just him and his sister, his little sister, and pretty much he was taking care of her. And they were very close because they were together all the time, other than when they'd be together in the morning, go to school. They'd separate when they go to school because she'd be in like middle school, and well, actually at the time she was in high school, but and he was in college. But so they'd split to go to their different schools, and he'd pick her up after school, and they'd go home together. If they were going to go anywhere, they'd generally do it together. So they're really close since they never saw, and like the mom and dad. So when he was the kid, he pretty much prefers the country. His parents sometimes would take him and his sister out to the country, um, like to travel with them just to have some family time. And the thing about the country is it is pretty much free for all, man versus wild. It's a jungle out there pretty much because out in the wild yeah, they have little villages, but there's no rules. In a village, they have like little guards or something, so if you do something bad, the guards will be on you. But like outside of that, everywhere else, it's free for all. And like, say you see someone, you're walking in the woods and you see someone and you killed them, you can do it. There's no rules. So that's why it's really dangerous, and that's why mostly Tristan's parents wanted him and his sister to stay in the city, especially when they're going on their travels. And as well, if they lived in like the country type thing, it's families, like people generally travel in packs and families because there's other people who might not be so good. And there's animals, like they have regular animals, not like Camille and Adriana. It's not their world because they have different natural creatures and stuff. But they have in his world more animals that me and you have pretty much. They have those type of animals, but they're more abundant. So running into like a bear is not uncommon. Like running into cougars or coyotes, that stuff is not uncommon. And as you said, it's man versus wild. If you're on their territory, they could attack. So if you're by yourself, then your survival rate is very low. But if you have family, then you guys can work together to get out of situations, that type of thing. And especially if it's like the children are really young, it's more dangerous for them. So you'd want more people to have eyes on your child. So they have that. That's why they're city people. And Tristan, he likes going when they go out as a family, or he sometimes him and his sister would sneak out and go out and go into the wild sometimes with their parents not knowing, even though it's dangerous. And he liked it better, but since his parents wanted him to be in the city, he stayed in the city and did the city stuff. So him they went to school because that's what city kids do. And he wasn't very serious about any professions or anything because he planned to go out to the wild after. So he's saying pretty much, I don't really need anything. I don't need engineering or any of that because they don't use really modern stuff out there. So there's no point in me doing that. So he just went to school just to go to school. And after a while, that's when his sister got sick. And it was a very big conflict thing for him because they're really advanced. Like things that would kill you in this time wouldn't kill you then. They'd had such advanced things, and they have these medicine guns. It's kind of like a RPG type thing where they shoot the gun on you and you start getting healed or whatever. They use like a medicine gun. They actually have those things. So he's like, you have all of that, but you can't help her. And they didn't know what she's sick from. So he was very upset. It was really tough for him. And his parents, of course, yeah, they came. They're like, oh, our daughter is sick. They're upset. But they still had to go to work because living in the city, it's not like it's cheap. Living in the wild is more cheaper than the city, so they're like, we have to go back to work. So it was pretty much him, and he was really depressed. And when she eventually did pass, he kind of had a big moment of depression. He was really upset, and of course that's when he pretty much went crazy. That's why this is actually not his natural hair color. His hair, like the gray parts, is from stress because I'll tell you like what type of things he did. Like the gray parts are pretty much from stress, and then he dyed some of it, and his actual natural hair color is black, which you can see. You can't see on this really crappy camera, but the very tips are black, and that's actually his natural hair color. So he pretty much went into crazy mode. He's like, no, I'm not gonna accept it. No, we're too advanced. We have to have some way to bring her back. So that's when he dove into school. He went into biochemistry, biology, engineering. He did it all. He was obsessed with working. He'd work, 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 work. That's all he did. He didn't do anything else. He just study and research, all that stuff. And he zoomed past and in past in grades and everything. And he didn't really talk to very much people other than the other nerdy, really advanced nerdy people who are kind of in his section. He'd talk with them, and they'd sometimes help him out, all that type of thing, give him ideas. And he was doing that. He was pretty much coming up with a way. But after about 2 years, he was like, okay, I've officially did everything I can do. He's like, I've been kind of fooling myself. You can't bring anyone back from the dead. He's like, and I've been foolish for trying to pursue this right now because I know that's not going to happen. But he does believe in things that are higher than him. Some of the people in the city are religious, some are not, but it's not like a big thing. So he's like, there's something greater. I do believe in other places because his people have been in space. They've explored space so much, they found so many things that they're not even interested in going in space anymore. Like, they've already been there, done that. So he's like, we found so many amazing things in space, and I believe that there are other places that we still haven't achieved, even though they lost interest. But I know there's other places. So that's when he went and started building that machine, and the machine pretty much used a lot of electricity, a lot of unstable atoms, all that type of things are used in order for him to do this transportation thing. And the final piece, of course, was a piece of hair from a brush his sister used to use. Put it in there, and the machine brought him, of course, to the island where it would determine that his sister would appear there at some point. Or well, the sister from that universe. And that is, I guess, part of the backstory thing. And since arriving, of course, he's not like as crazy anymore because he's still, not to get him wrong, he is kind of crazy still, but he's pretty much more relaxed, and he's really curious to find out things about this world because he has all these degrees, degree upon degree upon degree, and he comes here talking about that stuff, and everyone looks at him like, what? Who cares? Something. So he's pretty much discovering himself more on the island, and he hasn't, of course, his sister has not arrived yet, so he's still waiting on that. And I think that's mostly what I guess I wanted to clarify more backstory in his world, because before it was a little bit more vague. So I guess that's it for now. Sorry if this video is a bit too long. I'll talk to you guys later.